Welcome to the show your parents, the PTA and the asleep don't want you to hear, the Helios blog. Today, Bradley Martyn debates Sneako and Myron. This should be interesting.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
Do you guys ever think you go too far?
No. I think you only go too far when you start advocating for violence. Like if you're going to...
That's a problem. That's never good.
Yeah, that's never good. Other than that, when it comes to... I don't think there's any limitations on free speech.
And I've been open about this. Like I've told people, like, dude, if you're ripping down posters of like innocent Israelis that were kidnapped, like you're a piece of shit. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can support, right, you could be against the genocide and still have empathy for the people that were kidnapped, because at the end of the day, innocent people are innocent people, and there's never an acceptable parameter to condone violence against civilians ever. So, when I see these people ripping down posters of the Israelis that were kidnapped, I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? Stupid.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Insanity.
It's just like, I don't know, man. It's just such a weird time to be in the space of like talking and this whole, like, even having a podcast and just feeling like you just can't fully say how you feel without feeling like you're going to be hacked.
Yeah.
It's insane.
My thing is this. I'm aware.
You're always going to have haters no matter what you do in 2024. Psychopaths are everywhere online, as Jordan Peterson says, right?
Of the stark differences between men and women, and I point them out. And people refer to that as hate. However, if you really listen to what I say, right, versus what detractors say about me all the time, I think women need to be protected. I think they need to be provided for. I think they need to be taken care of. And I accept that there's just inherent gender differences and we're not the same. And since we are not the same, that means that there's different treatment that needs to be given to each gender. So no one criticizes me when I say we need to protect and provide for our women, etc. But then they'll get mad at me when I say, well, women aren't leaders. It's like, well, you got to pick one. So do you want me to be a gentleman and take care of you and give you these chivalrous traits, etc., and be a gentleman? Or do you want feminism? Because if you want feminism, guess what? We're equal. We're splitting this bill down the middle. We do everything down the middle. And the issue is that the problem with feminism is that it doesn't align with biological reality, right? Like what's politically correct and what's real are two different things. Like feminists will sit there and tell you, I remember this video went viral. This LA chick, she talked about how she went out with a guy that like paid the bill and took her on a real date and planned everything out, and how she was so attracted and aroused by it, versus other guys that she's met with in LA where, they're splitting bills down the middle or whatever. And it just goes to show, like, your hard wiring is your hard wiring, regardless of your political ideologies or whatever, right? Indeed. Biology always trumps what's in what you think you know. So and I've always said attraction isn't a choice. So the reality is women are attracted to whole misogynistic guys, as they would define, that align with gender norms and gender roles. So that's what it is. So I just acknowledge this, and I tell men to be men and be leaders, and don't put your girl in a leadership role. And then people say I'm a misogynist for that. But then when I say women shouldn't work and men should provide for them, and she should have the ability to work electively, they're like, oh, that's awesome. I agree with that. So they pick and choose the gender roles that I talk about.
That's why you think that you don't actually hate women. That's
of course not, dude. If I'm over here saying like you should be willing to die for your girl and protect and provide for her, what does that mean? That means
I feel like from an outside perspective, because obviously I don't watch all of your content like word for word. Of course, I could understand though why like people have this image of you, because you see the clips of you being like, "Shut up, you stupid."
It's put out of context. A lot of the time they don't show the buildup where she's like nagging and she's...
No, of course not, because you just take the guy out of context and that's it. That's all you do. It's all about clip farming, right?
Saying insulting things, and she's interrupting and she's yelling for a lot of time, because that's what's going to go viral. You can't clip an hour of the podcast, right? So it goes all right to the buildup, right to the execution where she has to get kicked out of the podcast, but they don't see all. If they actually saw how disruptive and how rude a lot of these girls are, they'd be like, yeah, I'd probably be losing my hair too if I was these girls 7 days a week.
So another thing too, like people don't know, right? So we do our daytime show and then our nighttime, because you've been around.
Yeah.
We do our daytime show where we, talk about making money on Money Mondays, or how to date on Wednesdays, or call-in show, whatever it may be. Then we do the show with the girls. The stuff that goes viral is the stuff with the girls, but like, just like Sneako said, we've been debating for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and these girls get like really rambunctious. Remember, I'm dealing with like models, OnlyFans girls that are hot, girls that have never been told no in their life. So they're very pretentious. So I'm like, I have to kind of like maintain order on the show. Like, hey, you know, she's talking, or hey, stop interrupting, whatever. And then they get mad. But then they click that part where I kick her out, but they don't show that hour and a half, 2 hours where we're just tolerating her.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of times when I kick girls out, I ask the chat, what do y'all want? Give me a 1 if y'all want her gone. And it's just a bunch of ones and castle emojis.
Of course.
Right.
I mean, the chat, they always go for drama, dude. They always go for violence.
You know.
But there's a flip side to this that I've always wanted to ask you about is like, if the goal was to make women, I don't know necessarily make women look better, but like to, you know how you talk about this OnlyFans, all this kind of shit. It's like, why not have girls that are less
do come on
ratchet?
They do come on quite a bit, but that doesn't go viral. Like there's been a lot of intellectual women.
Yeah. There's lots of like smart girls or whatever on the show, but they don't get the most attention, of course, because why would they?
Been like college educated. You know, it's actually funny. A lot of the college educated, like I have a bachelor's degree. Some of them are the dumbest. Like they don't know how, they can't name how many countries there are. It's really sad. And that's not what gets clipped and shown around.
Yeah.
But I've been on a lot of shows where there's been educated panels, high IQ, stuff like that, good conversations.
We had a doctor on a couple weeks ago. You know, we had doctors, lawyers on, etc. The thing is that the stuff that gets clipped, it's always the ratchet, stupid chick that's like a 304, right?
Yeah.
That's a stripper or OnlyFans girls. That would get clipped. So people think, oh, that's all the girls they bring on.
No.
But people don't know that like it's a panel of like 7 to 10 girls, and a bunch of them in there are smart or educated. And here's the thing: the smart girls don't argue because they know I'm telling the truth.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's where it gets interesting, because what people, if they don't watch all your content like word for word, then they just go, oh, he's just yelling at girls.
Yeah, they assume
so
that
you
I'm just the
look-
guy that like yells at chicks all day, and that's really not it. Because like we do have some very productive conversations. It's just that the stuff that gets clipped and goes viral is like me telling a girl, "Shut up," or "You're stupid," or "You're a bimbo," or "Get the f out of here." But they never saw the build up. They didn't see what led to it, and they just assume that I just hate girls. But the reality is like I genuinely believe that women need to be protected, and I understand biological differences between men and women. So I understand that as a man, you got to be the leader, you got to be the protector, you got to be the provider. But you know, they never show that because that's not sexy, and you can't clip that, right?
Stoicism doesn't go viral. You know, like intellectual conversations are not clippable. It's going to be, the funniest thing is seeing a girl's response when she gets kicked out after insulting for like an hour. She'll get up and start twerking. It's like, you need to leave the show. She gets like, my natural.
Or fight, or start fighting.
Yeah, fight.
Yeah, that was the last clip that went viral. It's going viral right now. It's like millions of views on like 20 million plus, probably like almost 50 by now.
Yeah.
Million views. Like, yeah, I told this chick to like leave because she was being rude. And then like, she walks out and she's like, before she
First,
gets
she started
up-
twerking.
Yeah, you were there on that show.
Homegrown. It's homegrown. Like she starts like
Yeah, you
showing
were
off her
sitting
body.
there. I saw the
Yeah.
And then she started fighting in the back.
And then she started fighting. And she started it. Like people just think, oh, she got jumped. Absolutely. She's the one. And I broke down the footage. Like she grabs one of the girls next who's supposed to be the
Icy.
security. And shout out to Icy. And yeah, she started the fight 100%.
Do you think a part like you also kind of feed into it for the clip stuff?
So I've been asked that before.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't be, and I'll tell you why. Dude, it's a headache, man. Like talking to girls 3 times a week and doing 2 shows a day. Like I like to do regular shows where we're just chilling, having a good conversation, etc. But there's always like 1 or 2 girls on the panel, man, that's like just being an idiot,
They're
hurting the
bad
part of the
agents.
show. People in the chat are complaining, etc. because they're interrupting, interjecting. I mean, you know, imagine having like 10 people, right? And everyone has a mic and they can hear everything, right? So like, because some girls like to ad lib, like make comments on the side, like, bro, shut up. Like it's a podcast. Period. Like the stupid
Play.
are like Jim Jones in 2006, like, you know, like Young Jeezy.
Yas
Like,
Queen.
Yeah, that dumb shit. So it's like, like I gotta like kind of rule with an iron fist. So like, I guess people say, oh, you just do it for the clips or whatever, but I genuinely don't, man. We've had 3,000 girls on the show. I've only kicked out like 200.
Damn, that sounds like a lot.
That's a pretty high ratio.
That sounds like a crazy number.
Yeah, but it's like
200's insane.
It's like, but think about it, like percentage wise, that's not that much.
Yeah, it just sounds like
Like
a
90,
ton.
like 90+%. Like I got to get it from my guy, but like 90+% of the girls don't get kicked off.
And you said earlier that a lot of the girls are hot, so they've never been told no. You'd be surprised. Like some girls that weigh more than you, that are like 270, they still have the entitlement of a hot girl now, because the amount of DMs a girl gets boosting her self-esteem and making her think that she can never be wrong whatsoever. The ugliest chicks, man, have the loudest mouths.
I've seen, dude. I mean, I was talking to Greg about that. How like who had it harder, men or women? And it's like obviously men.
Greg.
Doucette. Before, but like after
I
you
was on
guys,
him on Jubilee.
yeah, the fit guys versus the fat guys.
Yeah. Did you see that episode?
I didn't watch it. I saw clips, which was pretty hilarious.
It'd be good to react to on stream.
What?
It'd be good to react to on stream. Afterwards, there was like some of the fat guys that were being quiet, like, "Oh, well, it's okay to be fat." Blah, blah. They posted videos afterwards saying like, "Myron's homophobic, he's transphobic," and I can't believe they'd platform him, like grown men crying because Myron has a different opinion.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Did you get mad when they made fun of you though for being small?
No, man. Like, as I was just like in my head, I was like, okay, call me small or whatever, but you're still fat. You know what I mean? So it's like, in my head, I'm like, dude, I'm natural. I'm 6'3". Like, yeah, I'm not gonna be a jack like these other guys because I've never done a drug in my life, right? So, and like for me, I train more for like, you know, to be fit, and obviously I've been doing like some boxing training, so that's gonna make you cut weight, right? As would you do any type of any type of combat sport. So I wasn't pissed about it. I was just like, I just found it funny how like they were trying to deflect from the fact that like they were fat and coping for being fat, and my big problem was like. And this with these guys, because a lot of them are influencers too. I found this out like after the fact. They're like fat TikTokers, body positivity TikTokers, like a lot of these dudes. So it's like it's almost like they're invested in like not getting their audience to like change and get in shape. And you know, and I get it, like because the guys that I was with, the fitness guys that I was with, like you know, they're pretty clean cut, right? Like Greg was agreeing with some of the stuff that I said, but he's not going to go all the way. Like, and you know this from being in the fitness industry too. Let's keep it 1,000, bro. A lot of these fitness industry guys are cucked. They can't say what they really want to say. Yeah. They can't be as open as they want to be because they understand that if I'm in a fitness niche, like a lot of the times, like if you're a real like popular fitness influencer, you're going to be almost split down the middle with like your followers a lot of the times, right? Yeah. Or like you're going to have a good percentage that are also female. So you can't say certain things. But like for me, I looked at it like, bro, let's just say what we say when we're in the locker room, what it really is. We don't respect fat people. We make fun of y'all. You guys are pathetic and you guys are disgusting, and you guys go ahead and push this propaganda to everyone else to keep them fat, because if they get in shape, they're not going to watch you anymore. So this body
body positivity influencers or whatever is okay. I'm sure you've heard the term cope before. It's literally cope. That's what it is.
Positivity thing, it's all lie.
It's a scam.
It's a huge scam.
It's like the therapist of the fitness industry, because the therapist doesn't actually want you to get better. The therapist is going to approach the client with a middle ground approach, like, well, come back next week and take this medication. But you can break down why people go to therapy probably in 5 minutes. Oh, just do the thing that you know you're supposed to do. Work harder and get over it.
And the name of the show is called Middle Ground. That like there's no such thing as like a middle ground when it comes to excellence. Like if you want to be the best of the best, you're gonna have to be extreme in some degree, right? And a lot of people say, oh well, you're too radical. Well, you then. Like we're gonna do what we got to do to be successful regardless of that.
That's
like,
where the divide is then.
Yeah, but these guys are like sitting there like, oh, what is there a middle ground? We don't negotiate with terrorists. We don't negotiate with women. We don't negotiate with these weirdos. Bro, there's two genders. You know, like, dude, it is what it is. Like. People go ahead and sit there and say, oh, well, Myron, you're XYZ, whatever the term they want to use to like ascribe like my level of success or my mindset or whatever. But the reality is any guy that is successful with the gym, girls, making money, etc., has a similar A-type personality where we don't sit there and tolerate mediocrity. But these guys are trying to sit here.
You work hard and you have to compete and you have to be competitively strong and better than most men and harder working than most men and trying hard and constantly striving. If you're constantly coping and like lying about reality, you're never going to be successful. Never.
And advocate for being a loser.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're talking about something different. It's like you're talking about mindset, which is like obviously someone looking a certain way has to do with what their mind is telling them, what they believe is possible. Yeah. That's like a whole sickness of itself, where like how can you convince someone that they're good enough?
Yeah.
You know, because that's what it comes down to.
What do you mean convince them that they're good enough?
Like, that conversation is like, it's greater than just like someone being fat or in shape or whatever. It's like someone feeling like I'm going to hold myself to this standard that you guys are talking about, the standard of what you hold yourself to as far as like physicality or just where you're at and what you're focused on and how you're doing it. It's like, I don't think everyone in the world just has that genuinely.
No. And that's what I talked about on the thing. I was like, they're like, well, not everyone's going to be that. I was like, fantastic. There's winners and there's losers. If you don't, want to rise up, you're a loser, and that's fine. We need you guys. We need losers, right? Because at the end of the day, and that's the other thing too, like everyone thinks that we're equal and we're all the same. No, we're not, bro. That's a bunch of we're not.
Let's go.
Going to the gym every day, making this money.
If you want to be better than the average person, you have to work hard. You have to be better than the average person. Average is average for a reason. If you do as average does, you'll always be average. That's the point.
I do what I do, and then I'm going to be equal to your fat. Hell know. There are differences.
Why do you think the idea of like we should all just not necessarily that we should all be unequal, or like why do you think we're trying to make this world such like a playground with bumpers everywhere?
Well, when you
What's
lie,
the purpose of that?
When you lie, people buy, bro. Like if we sit there and we sell, because here's the thing: if most people are fat and obese, and we want to make money,
selling medicine,
big pharma, of course, has a plan. But the thing is, if most people are fat, what are we going to do? Are we going to appeal to the people that are fit or the fat people? No, we got to appeal to the fat people and tell them it's okay to be fat. Then we're going to create industries for it. We're going to create plus size modeling. We're going to create big and tall. We're going to create plus size dresses and all this other shit. Like, bro,
weak people are easy to monetize. If they're going to buy into, if they make up some medicine that you need to get during a pandemic, then they're going to be the ones who immediately believe it. They're going to be the ones that go to therapy, take the medication. They are going to always be, they're customers that you can use forever. Right? Strong people are not easy to control.
We're talking now about like a much different topic, which is like some people just can have it no matter how bad you want them to have it.
Yeah. There's got to be
like,
winners and losers. But
so,
my thing is, I wasn't really trying to convince those like to change, because they're not, bro. When you have that mindset and you're stuck and you're like invested to making fat boy content, you're not going to change. But my thing is for the audience to like see the discrepancy in logic and viewing the world objectively and reality based. Because like these guys just kept making excuses for why they're fat versus I'm saying, no, you need to take accountability. You're in control of every morsel of food that goes into your mouth. And the fact that you're fat is your own problem. And here's the thing. That video, right? It's Jubilee's most viewed video right now.
Most comments.
And it has the most comments of any video. It has like almost 40,000 comments right now, right? And everyone in there is like talking about me. But at least I sparked the conversation. Is it really acceptable to be fat?
Right.
And it's going to make you go one of two ways. You're going to say, damn, this dude's spitting.
The people that already are, fat positive, they're not going to change. The people that are fitness positive, they're also not going to change. But the people on the fence, the people you actually care about, those are the ones that are going to be influenced by this. And that's the point. That's the whole point of everything.
The truth, and I am in control of my weight, or you're going to be a fat person. Like, oh, it's not my fault. It's I don't know. It's my feelings, and I'm depressed. Which I had.
Do you think there's a better way to encourage people?
No. It doesn't work.
Shaming is one of the strongest.
Doesn't work. Like saying that it's okay and that it's okay and you're good enough and there's going to be time. They're going to think, oh, well, they're going to have a mediocre approach to it. Even what you said just now, being fat is not healthy. That's a controversial opinion. A lot of these people a lot of these people in LA will look at Lizzo. Oh, Lizzo's in the gym. She'll post a couple pictures on the treadmill and they'll think that this is something, oh, she's on stage dancing.
Can I steal a drink from you?
So it's fine. Like you holding that belief that being fat is unhealthy is very, very controversial in this space.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Like you can't
you could be fat and have a healthy blood work panel, but for how long is another question.
That's
because at some point the fat on the body's probably going to catch up to you.
Yeah, and that's true. That is true, right? Like because there's a bunch of fat people who say, "Well, I'm fine," and I'm like, "Yeah, but how long can you maintain that? You're 25 years old." And here's the other thing too, and I mentioned this on the Jubilee video. There's a bunch of fat influencers that recently died, like in the past year or two, like big TikTokers, etc. I can't recall their names now, but they like passed away, and they were like, making all these gluttonous videos, eating challenges. They're fat as sitting there saying, oh yeah, like, trying to like condone it. And the thing is, right, we live in a social media world. So when you have an audience, like, and you're able to influence people and you have that level of like power over people, like the last thing you want to do is like lie to them and tell them that it's okay to be fat, right? Indeed. As much as people want to sit there and say that I'm a misogynist, whatever the may be, at least I tell people objective reality. You're a man. You're only valued if you create resources and take care of yourself. Like, you're not a female. You can't get by on just being pretty. You need to make money. You need to get in the gym. You need to build your mind, build up your body, and then you will go ahead and be able to walk into the world and command some respect, because that's what it comes down to.
That's right.
Your last name carries weight if you work to create that last name. We got people that are getting bombed right now in Gaza that can't even get access to clean water, that can't eat food or whatever, and we're over here in the United States complaining about, I'm getting cyberbullied. Ugh. Like, it's ridiculous,
But
man.
that's when they relinquish their manhood too, because you said something that's also accurate, that a man is only judged based on what he provides.
Yeah.
That's why they end up changing their genders and saying that I'm gender fluid, is because they know intrinsically that men are only going to be valued based on what they can do. So they give up their status as a man. I am now fluid. I'm this. I'm not even a man anymore. I give up.
Dude, they use these stupid like terms, like, and it's crazy to me because every time I come out to LA, I'm like more bamboozled by the shit you guys have out here. Like, I went to the bathroom, right? And I see a like doing her makeup. I was like, what the? And there's a urinal right next to her. I'm like, this is weird.
I've
like,
never ever seen that anything like that,
bro.
I live here. Where the was this at?
This was at their studios, at the Jubilee Studios, and I've seen a couple other bathrooms like this, like all gender bathrooms, and I'm like, this is chaos.
Insane.
Like we can't even separate bathrooms. Like, bro, I don't want to be taking a piss and shaking one out, like, you know, to get the piss off me or whatever.
And you flick it on a girl,
and then the girl's next to me doing makeup. That's weird. That's weird.
That's really that happened. I mean, I've seen the all gendered bathroom, but like normally it's singular.
Nah, man, it was like there was a urinal in there. There was like a stall and all this other.
Makeup center.
Yeah, dude. I was like, what the.
You get a number?
No, man.
Did you get
I
a
walked
number?
out. I didn't go in. I saw her doing the makeup. I had to piss bad too. I just like walked out. I was like, I can't do this. This is weird.
Oh.
You know? And it opens up the door for like a bunch of other weirdness, right? You got like these trainees going into bathrooms. Like, what if there's a kid in there? Right?
Yeah.
Like that's my issue with it. So, you know, and these woke liberals like refuse to acknowledge reality. Like this is like, dude, there's two genders. Like if you die, let's say you identify as a woman now, whatever, and you're a guy that transferred over. When you die and they pull up your bones, right? They're gonna say that this was a male.
There's like a little bit of wow where it's like, is it really necessary to be that shrewd and that sort of from, you know, the outside they can be like, he's just mean, he's disrespectful. Is it always that necessary? Because I feel like you can get the same thing done, the point across that you want to get across without being that sort of.
Fair point.
know?
But this is what I'll say. Just like the girls on the podcast that come on and don't say anything, no one remembers you when you're nice. No one remembers you when you're politically correct. No one remembers you when you just say things in a very stoic manner. It's boring. Doesn't capture attention. People don't care. You need to have some charisma. You got to have some energy. You got to have some fire. You got to be passionate. So to me, I look at it like, I would rather tell someone you're a fat piece of quit the versus, hey man, you're a little overweight. You might want to go ahead and reconsider your food choices. What's more memorable?
Nobody's going to listen to the second one. Never.
I go to sleep thinking, damn.
Yeah,
maybe I am a fag.
Or they're going to be like, that guy's a him, and then just go on with their fatness.
You know what's crazy? The one guy that was offended the most, guess what happened after the Jubilee episode?
You probably came up to him.
He went to the gym. He posted a video
on
of him on the
Instagram.
treadmill. So like, that's the first step. Like you need to get pissed off and then you make a change.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
fair.
And if you could hate me and get pissed off and go to the gym, I succeeded. I won. Because like now you're doing
and
what
also
you
they're
going to
win.
Then they're going to win, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Because I look at it like, if I had to like, because there's a reason, think about it. So the military, right?
Think about this.
Do you think sergeants are sitting there saying, you know what, man, load up the AR, you know, do it nicely. You know, we're going to go ahead and shoot some targets here. No, they're saying, hey, maggot, look, run right now. Like, why are they going ahead and taking that approach to train individuals for combat where it's life or death? When it's life or death, which is the fight against obesity, by the way, you're not going to sit here and like, you know, oh, let me make you feel better so you can go ahead and go to the gym. No, you triple chin, fat piece, breathing 3 times as much as I should be doing.
Let's go.
What? You're taking 3 breaths of oxygen for my 1? Is your life more valuable than me, fat? No. Breathing like a weirdo. Like, no, this needs to be fixed. And if I yell at them and tell them, you fat piece, you need to go to the gym, you need to lift some weights, you need to eat better, you need to get out the cheeseburgers, they're going to remember that way more than me saying, hey, maybe you want to go ahead and readjust your diet.
Indeed.
That's why that Jubilee video got so much views. Bro, no one gives a what those other got to say on the thing. They all were commenting on me. Why? Because I was the most memorable. I was the most polarizing.
Do less of the. So
my bad.
Yeah, but I get you. I love it.
He's riled up.
No, I love it. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's just there's a level of like, man, can you just be you're like a 12? Can you be like a 8?
I'll give you 8.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying you in general.
Oh, you mean in general? Oh,
you don't think
giving a
there's-
message?
Yeah, you don't think there's value at like doing it at 8? Because like, here's my thing: is like, if they're not ready to listen, they're not ready to listen, no matter what the you say. And if you're extra dickhead to them, they're gonna be like, for sure, that guy.
Then let them be a loser.
Cool. Indeed. I don't give a shit.
We need winners and losers. Because like I look at it like there's 2 types of guys, right? If you have an A-type personality, whatever, it's gonna fire you up and you're gonna go anyway. But if you're like one of these like more passive, like you're gonna be like, oh, it's offensive me, I'm gonna shut down. All right, then shut down. Sit in your dark room, cry me a river, listen to some Justin Timberlake, and be a like it's fine. The guys that are going to succeed are going to succeed, and when I give them that kind of motivation, it's either going to inspire or make them, you know, say, "Oh, I'm going to go cry in a room." Go cry in a room, bro. We need losers.
What's your take on it?
100%. I mean, like the most successful world leaders of all time were authoritarian. They didn't like try to dial back what was true and what was false in order to appease the people's feelings. If something needed to get done, they said this is how it's going to be. They like ruled the nation with an iron fist. You need people. It's refreshing.
We're content creators, or we're not nation leaders. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but they're saying that the middle ground approach is not effective because people are going to be like, well, yeah, you're okay.
But sometimes you have more influence than national leaders.
That's true. That's why mainstream media is dying so much.
Yeah, like some of these creators have more influence than national leaders.
Right.
Like
Politicians don't have movements behind them anymore. I think that more people would go to like a Fresh and Fit podcast rally than a Joe Biden rally. I think you could have actually more people show up to like hey, gym protest. And there's going to be more energy for the fact that they closed down your gym than a Joe Biden rally. Any day. And he's the sitting president of the United States of America.
It was lit. We did that.
Where do you think there was more energy? Like outside a gym with some kids who are upset about the gym closing, or Joe Biden talking about whatever?
Obviously outside the gym, bro.
And that's the sitting president. So this is important to talk about. It's refreshing because this like it's been going on too long.
Especially in 2024, like there's certain influencers that like transcend borders and have more influence than some of these national leaders. Why do you think they shut Andrew Tate down so hard? They did like a concerted effort. We got to ban him everywhere. We got to ban him on YouTube, on Instagram, etc. We got to ban him. And the reason why is because he was able to inspire the youth into, having a more distant mindset.
So, and then it all comes down to control thing. It seems like all this stuff boils down to just being able to like more easily control the population to do whatever you want.
A fat, weak, depressed, genderless population is much easier to manipulate and control than people who are going to the gym every day and don't care about your feelings.
Women too. That's why they
try controlling the Spartans. Yeah, then you have to have a ruling council, right? Okay. That's in the video there. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all notifications. Drop me a donation. Like Hunter M, Adrian R, Tom and Bobby, Dylan, Renaissance Press. Andrew, Brian, and Alan. Shout outs to you, most recent purchaser of Strategist Guide to Seduction. Thank you. If you'd like to buy my books, it's at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Early access content, you can find it on my Patreon. That's patreon.com/theheliosblog. And if you'd like coaching, message me at theheliosblog@gmail.com. I can also give you good advice, like these guys here. All right. Take care of yourselves, guys, and I'll see you next time.